What's up, everyone? Welcome to You're Such a Nerd, the Geek Variety Podcast, coming at you at the speed of an O2 burr grinder and 36 grams of single origin honey wash Brixine obliterator goodness. We'll find out together what this nectar of the gods is. I'm your host, Johnny Doe. Let's go. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we're going to be having a little conversation about Magic the Gathering and coffee, the true nectar of the gods, with my buddy John. It's going to be a beautiful time, a beautiful thing. If you're new to the show, welcome. Thanks for listening. You could be doing 100,000 other things other than me hanging out with me and listening to my dulcet tones. And I appreciate you being here. It means a lot. If you want to support, we got a Patreon at very reasonable rates. It's linked in the show notes below wherever you're listening to this. Patreon will get you access to private Discord, additional episodes of our other shows like Critics Corner and Hobby Hangouts, as well as, most importantly, ad-free episodes of this, the main feed. Because who wants to listen to capitalism just coin tinkling away? We can't even listen to coin tinkles anymore because pennies don't even exist. What is that? Man, by the time someone's listening to this in like 2120, if the internet's still around, then they're going to be like, what are coins? That's so old, just like me. And you'll find out more about that in this episode. However, before we get to that, other ways that you can support the show if you'd like, just like, rate, subscribe, and all that stuff on the platforms of your choice. Keep an eye out for our merch drop coming soon to the website. And just spread the word with verbosity. Show's entire guerrilla marketing. There's no social media presence beyond the Discord. We are, taking the fight to capitalism again because capitalism sucks. And we want human beings to talk to human beings because there's enough doom scrolling. Stay off the social medias. Chitty chat. Talk about stuff you like. If you like the show, spread the word. If you don't like the show, tell everybody it sucks. That's cool. I'm down with it. If you have any questions or want to correct me on something I screwed up, by all means, please send us an email at younerdsuck@gmail.com. It's also in the link below, ready to go. Just fire and forget that email. And last but not least, before we get started, if you're so inclined, send me a postcard. The address is also down below. I'll send you one back. We'll support the postal service. We'll be pen pals. It'll be chef's kiss. Mwah. It'll be a good time. Something other than the bill coming in or a unsolicited credit offering that, no one needs. So anyways, do it. It'll be great. Now, without further ado, here's my conversation with my buddy, John. Enjoy. John, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, man?
Thanks for hanging out.
Happy to.
So we're here today to talk about two things that you adore greatly. One thing that I absolutely suck at, and one thing that you're definitely at fault for being in my life at the level that it is.
That's right.
Which you could almost say actually about both of those is magic and coffee.
Magic and coffee.
It's a great combination. Magic
the Gathering, not magic with wands.
That's an important delineation, I suppose. Lightning bolt.
The amount of times that I've told people like, oh, I'm going to Vegas to do magic. And they're like, whew, can you show me a trick? And I say, no, I cannot.
A bunny rabbit in a hat somewhere that you could pull out for me quickly. Do you think they still do that trick? Or is it like PETA? Did they come in for like equal bunny rights?
I'm going to say they still do it, but PETA is not happy about it. That's my read on the situation.
I think that's probably legit.
Yeah. Because it's still, they still sell doves and things.
Yeah.
Joe Bluth style.
Man, doves, I don't know why that immediately made me think about Ozzy being dead now.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
I have a coworker who is a Zoomer who discovered
oh my god
Sabbath after Ozzy's death. He was like, oh, well, obviously knew who they were. And then Ozzy died, and I started listening to him, and I was like, whoa, this is like good stuff. It's like there was kind of the whole point.
Like exactly. Now there's a guy in one of the Discords that I'm in, and there's like a music thread, obviously, and like people will like post stuff about music or whatever. And there's nothing more aging than to be talking competently about something you listened to in your 20s and people being like, I wasn't even born then.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, I had like a long talk at the bar with him about music, and I was just like, I'm talking about stuff that came out when you were like 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's painful.
Do you ever do like deep dives in like a discography for an artist?
It's been a while. This is the last one that I did. It's been a long time since I've done that.
Yeah, I've been on a kick on doing that lately where I'll pick an artist, and lately it's been a whole lot of just various types of death metal, and just like take their entire discography from start to finish. Because, with the algorithms of like Spotify and all that kinds of stuff, like we lose what the artist intended, I think, as having been a musician and done a lot of recording over the years and stuff. you pay attention to the order of the tracks when you put them into an album. Now you don't get that anymore today. You just get like, the popular shuffle or whatever the heck the algorithm tells you. And I feel like that's kind of like a disservice sometimes. And also it's cool to listen to a band or an artist and see how they progress, from one stage to the next stage in their career.
Yeah, I'm such like a album only purist that even at the gym, like I'd like hit play on an album. I don't even do like gym playlists.
Oh my god, that's
which is probably a disservice to myself, but
yeah,
there's a few skips, But I've started listening to hardcore music again, so
Sick.
that works. So.
What's in your tape deck, bro?
Right now, there's this band from the Inland Empire called Big Ass Truck. They're unbelievable. They're so good.
I'm gonna write that down right
Truck.
now and deep diving, baby.
Yeah, no, they're so good. And my favorite song from Big Ass Truck is called Big Ass Beer. The intro is Stone Cold Steve Austin talking about how you can't drink beer at 10 o'clock. You can't drink coffee at 10 o'clock. Oh, topical. He's like, oh, where I come from, it's already 10:30 in the morning. You can't drink coffee at 10:30 in the morning. I'll take a cold beer instead. And then like it kicks in. It's so good.
Oh, it's so good. Have you watched any of the documentaries like from the wrestling era of the 90s?
Yeah, we watched that Dark Side of the Ring show.
Yes,
for a while. Mm-hmm. That was a good one. Yeah, but yeah, dark stuff.
Yeah, that's
my profile picture on Slack for work is still Macho Man Randy Savage off the top rope.
Oh, I mean, as it should be. I mean,
they keep telling me to change it, and I'm like,
not gonna do it.
No.
I don't see policy. I don't know. So, Ultimate Warrior is like my jam. That's my go-to. Back in like WrestleMania, back in what was that, 89, 91, whenever that video game came out. Always loved Ultimate Warrior, but I have an extreme love of Macho Man as well. So I don't know if I had to pick one of the two of those, who would be.
I was big into Sting.
Oh yeah, Sting was another good one. I liked Sting a lot.
That was like
before he went bad.
Later on, yeah.
Yeah, before he went to like bad Sting when he was still good Sting.
Yeah, he was just the Crow.
The Crow. I do love crows. Anyways, so Magic, wrestling, whatever. So we'll
get there eventually.
You play Magic.
I do play Magic. I play Magic a lot. I play Magic most Fridays. I play Magic when I should be working a lot because they've made it too easy to play Magic now, which is kind of a problem for me.
I'm going to be honest here. This is an intervention, by the way. This is not actually an interview. I've got the doctor in the other room. They're going to come in and talk to you. Then we're going to hear from your mom. And
and then we'll bring your wife in. She'll talk about your finances.
Yeah, that's right.
You're doing wrong. Yeah. Sorry, you're saying?
Yeah, when did you start playing?
I started playing Magic. I was in high school, and a good friend of mine's older cousin had been playing Magic basically since it came out, and he just had a ton of bunch of shoe boxes full of Magic cards, and he gave them to my friend, and he brought them over, and he was like, "Here's this game. We're gonna play it. It's called Magic." And he explained the rules completely wrong, and we played completely wrong for probably a couple of years, just in my parents' basement, slapping together decks. It's like, okay, I'm taking the green and black cards tonight. You guys can have those. Build your deck. No sleeves. Shuffle them up on the table, just raw.
Nobody's sad about that.
Totally
Black Lotus.
No, Killer Bees, totally unbeatable. Has flying. How do you beat that? And so that was how we started. And then once I got into college, we found a store that played Magic, organized Magic, like F&M style. And that's when I started drafting.
That's Friday Night Magic for all of you uninitiated. Yeah,
Friday Night Magic. And so we spent our Fridays in college playing Magic rather than doing normal things that people do in college. But that taught me, learning to draft taught me how to play Magic, I think.
Really?
Because this was I don't know, 2007 or 8-ish, I guess. It was already the era of everything's online. So whatever deck won the last big tournament is online. You can go download it, whatever. You don't have to learn how to build a deck if you're just trying to be competitive, which is part of the reason that Magic has stuck with me for so long, is this competitive outlet that I always have available to me. Because growing up, it was sports, and then it was Quiz Bowl because I'm a huge nerd, and I decided I didn't want to run anymore. And then Magic became okay, there's this competitive thing that I can do that is intellectually stimulating.
Sure.
But I wanted to win, so I would just go see what the good decks were and then go buy them because I don't know, I got a scholarship to go to college and had money to spend.
Gotta love that.
I could just like go grab those decks, play them poorly, win sometimes anyways because it didn't really matter. But then, rapidly started getting better at the game once I started drafting and caring about limited. There's also like the scariest thing in the world to sit down at a table with 8 people who are much better than you at the game and try to draft a deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was sort of the journey through. And then during college, we would travel to something that doesn't exist anymore. It's called Grand Prix, which are like these very large scale Magic tournaments that if you did well enough, you could qualify for the Pro Tour. I played in some Pro Tour qualifiers, which again don't exist anymore because all this stuff has changed for like how to play competitively. But we were very, very serious. Me probably more so than everyone else. But there were some like people at the store that I like met that were very, very serious, and we like traveled around a lot and got a lot better. So that was sort of my introduction and then sort of maturity into the game. And then I quit for a very, very, very long time after college. And then Magic Arena came back out and I stopped playing Hearthstone and started playing Magic Arena because I was able to play it on my phone.
And then 2 years ago, Friday Night Magic came back into your life.
It did, yeah. Because I live very nearby a store that I'd always seen. Like I'd lived in this place for several years and always seen it and been like, oh, I remember that thing I used to do all the time. And then my wife started working nights and she was working on a Friday night. And I was like, well, let's go over and see what's happening. And then it's all downhill from there. Because the people at the store ended up being cool, which was like the worst possible thing.
Yep.
Because it's like, oh, I want to hang out with these people.
Yeah.
These people became like my good friends.
Yep.
And so now it's like they're always playing. So I'm always playing. And so like I try not to, I don't go every Friday anymore just because my wife doesn't work on Fridays, so I would rather not spend every Friday apart from her. But still,
the appeal of a sweaty gamer isn't that high.
Yeah. They're not nearly as good looking as her.
Yeah, that's real.
But then there's like tournament series that they do at the store, and like the people that I am friends with are actively trying to qualify for the Pro Tour still, which is cool because I care. I don't know. I like the game, but I care mostly about playing it seriously against people that are serious about it because that's like where I get derive most of the enjoyment from. So it's been nice finding my people, refinding my people, I guess, because some of my people left.
What is it that you love about the competition? Because I just did an episode with another guy, Tim, who is a pretty high level competitive player in miniature wargaming, and with a few different systems. So it's just interesting. Like I have this theory that like every game doesn't have to be competitive, but it seems like every game developer insists on creating some sort of like tournament system or circuit or whatever for their games. And I've had back and forth discussions with friends of mine about that. And some of them are like, well, it's essential to the life of the game and it's staying fresh and maintaining balance, all that kinds of stuff, and being supported by the company and continuing to engage people. And then, but on the other side of it, I'm kind of like, well, a game, like we just don't make narrative games as much anymore. It seems like, it tends to be more competitive. And I like to play a game for a story and the narrative that it makes. Murdering someone is also fun in the confines of a consensual gaming relationship. But what is it about the sweats that you like?
So me personally, it's just something that's always been in me. To like need to compete at a thing, like for as long as I can remember. Okay. Like I remember the day that I like picked up a basketball when I was a kid, and I was like, okay, the next person I see, I want to beat at this thing, right? Because I'm going to spend my time getting better at this thing, and it's probably some sort of like validation of like, oh, the time I spent learning this thing wasn't wasted because now look, I'm better than this other person at it, and I can prove it because I can beat them at it. And so it's some sort of justification for wasting my time getting better at the thing, I guess. But then there is just this thing in me that wants to compete at whatever is around me I would like to compete at. I have a very hard time turning that off. Like I was teaching my wife how to play chess and she was like, this will be fun. And I was like, this is not going to be fun for you because either I'm going to let you win and you'll know it and you'll be mad, or I'll beat you every time and then you're going to not want to do this anymore. Yeah. And then she didn't want to do it anymore after a while. But so there's just something inherent in me that like, I want to compete at something. I don't really care what it is, but there's this nice intersection of I really, really love this game and the way that it's designed and the mechanics of it. And also I can compete at it because there are a lot of people that still to this day take it very seriously, which is nice.
I mean, the game's been
And
around for 35,
31 years.
31 years. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was 95, 96?
No, it was 94.
94. Yeah.
Well, I guess it was 93. So it's, yeah.
Was that with, that wasn't with Alpha though. Was it without Beta? That was 93? Because did they release Alpha to the public?
They did release it, kind of. That's a little, I don't know. My like Magic Origins stuff is a little bit, but they just had MTG 30 2 years ago. So it's, I think it was 1994. But
cool.
Yeah, whenever it was first designed, it took a few years for there to be any sort of tournament scene.
Yeah, because I mean, when I came into Magic, it was probably that 96, 97 era. So like Revised was out, but you'd still find beta cards. Like I had a beta Icy, which rest in peace.
All right.
Retirement. Yeah, thanks. And I played through Ice Age, and then there was like 1 or 2 sets after that, and I kind of fell out of Magic at that point. But I remember, because I always fondly remember Magic when it was like the Sarah Angel was killer, the Chiffon Dragon, and the Assassin, Royal Assassin,
There's
and Moxies, and
yeah, it is. It was 93. Because I was thinking it was 32 years ago, because I still think it's 2025, because I remember the Magic 30 stuff was like right before I started playing paper Magic again. So it was 93. So yeah, 33 years this year.
So it tracked. It was probably
died.
like 95. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a new old format called pre-modern.
So yes. So I was going to say, we need to give us a lowdown on the formats, but there's another podcast that I listen to called Some Assembly Required. And it's a bunch of Canadians that are all some level of neurodivergent, and they get really hyper focused, shockingly, on certain things.
Can't relate.
Yeah, and a couple of them got into pre-modern Magic. Then they're like, "Fuck regular Magic. I'm here for pre-modern," and they are just deep into it. And it's really cool to hear. That's how I actually heard about pre-modern. I was like, "Oh shit!" That was back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So give the uninitiated of us the lowdown on the formats for Magic that are current.
Right. So there are 2 main ways to play Magic. You can play what is called limited Magic or constructed Magic. Limited Magic means when you arrive at whatever thing that is that you're doing, you don't have cards with you, except maybe like basic lands. And you open up fresh packs of Magic cards, build a deck, and then play with those. So every time you go to play, you build a deck and play with it. It's a new experience every time. There's 2 ways to basically do limited Magic. There's draft and sealed. In sealed, you get 6 packs, you open them up, you make a 40 card deck, adding basic lands that don't have to be in the packs. That's the sort of the thing you always get for free, because that's like the resource in the game. And then in draft, you sit down at a table with ideally 8 people in total. Everyone gets 3 packs. You take a pack, you open it, you pick a card out, pass it along, and then you pass them around the table, first to the left, then the second pack you pass to the right, back to the left. Similarly, 40 card deck, add your basic lands, and go. I think draft is the best thing that's ever happened to Magic. Magic as Garfield intended, etc., etc. But the other, I'd say definitely more popular way of playing Magic is called constructed, whereas you bring your deck with you to the event and play. And so you can play constructed in lots of different formats. Constructed is the overarching term for I bring my deck with me. But there are lots of different constructed formats. Sort of the main ones are, I guess, Commander is the big one. That's the one that everyone does. Yep. It's the one that I don't do. I have very strong opinions about it.
We'll get there.
But so that's like by far the most popular way to play Magic is.
And historically, Commander. It was also called EDH, right? Yeah, before.
Yeah, I still call it EDH. Yeah, so it was called Elder Dragon Highlander, because the way that works is you have a legendary creature and it's certain colors, and your deck has to be those colors. But those legendary creatures originally were the Elder Dragons. Those are like the cycle of cards. So that's where the name comes from. But aside from Commander, which is this sort of social 100-card constructed format, there is Standard, which is like the last, as of very recently, 5 years of cards or something. There are 3 years.
Research is happening. 3 years. Okay.
They like recently extended the size of Standard, which has had a lot of interesting ramifications for the game. But
interesting.
So Standard is like new cards. And then you have something that is called Pioneer, which is new cards plus some more cards. It goes back a little bit further.
Okay.
Then you have Modern, which goes back even further. Basically, Modern goes back to when they changed the card frame to the modern card frame, which started in like Alara block, which was 2003 or something like that. It was like right before I started playing Magic in a serious way. Going back even further, you have something called Legacy, which is like basically all the cards, but there's like an extensive ban list to get rid of the really, really powerful stuff. Go back even further, you have Vintage, which is all the cards. The ban list is very, 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 very small. They're cards that are restricted, so you can only have one copy of them. So like the Power 9, which is like a thing that you will hear. Very, very powerful cards. And Vintage, the only place you can play them, but you can only play one of each of them. Those are the cards that are banned in Vintage, are ones that are like problematic for like various reasons, be it like just the way that the game is played, it interferes with. When Magic first came out, there was something called Ante. You flip over the top card of your deck, and whoever wins gets both of them. We don't do that anymore. There's a lot of cards that reference Ante that you can't play because we don't do that anymore. But they're like really, really powerful effects that say like Ante an additional card, do something crazy, which obviously doesn't really work within the framework of the way the modern game is. Yeah, and so that's like all the, and then so those are like the main constructed formats. There's also Pauper, which is commons only, and it has its own ban list because like there are some very degenerate things you can do with only commons. And then there's this thing called pre-modern, which has been around for a while, but is like uptick in popularity recently because they added it to Magic the Gathering Online. And pre-modern is everything before modern. So there's the modern format, and then there's pre-modern, which is everything before that. But again, it has its own like ban list to sort of keep things balanced. I have a good friend who only really cares about eternal formats, which is what we call the formats that don't rotate, which modern technically is one, but he doesn't subscribe to he hates that one. So he's like a legacy Pauper pre-modern guy.
Okay. And
so pre-modern is like these old decks that like people loved from a long time ago that they're unplayable in Legacy because things have gotten too powerful. So they made this format of just, to make themselves feel good so they can cast Gush and stuff again. But
you can still play White Weenies.
Basically, yeah. That's it's interesting because it's only now come online. And so the thought is that it's going to get broken because there's way more people playing and iterating and play all day long every day now. Eventually, there's so many cards that eventually someone's going to maybe like break it, but we'll see. And then, the ban list will have to get updated potentially, but it was such a small community before that like that wasn't a problem and people just wanted to play their pet decks, right? Like my buddy just wants to play elves. That's what he wants to do. Oh yeah. Pre-modern is the place to do that.
Llanowar.
Yeah.
Are these community defined formats, or is it straight from Wizards now that Wizards owns everything in the world? Doesn't Disney own Wizards now?
I don't think so.
No, I thought Disney owned Wizards. Hasbro owns Wizards.
Hasbro owns Wizards.
And Disney doesn't own Hasbro?
Maybe. There's like 3 companies left, so
exactly.
I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised. Amen. So pre-modern is a community-driven format. It's being added to Magic the Gathering Online is interesting, but it's not managed by Wizards, which Wizards doesn't even manage Magic the Gathering Online. It's a company called Daybreak Games that does that. So they added this format that people love. There's another like community-driven format that's already on. So Pauper is the same thing. There's a format called French Commander, which is competitive 1 versus 1 commander with a different ban list and all this stuff. And it's literally 100 card decks, same commander rules, but different ban list. And that's another like very popular like community-driven format. And there's a girl at my store is like currently the champion of French Commander because she won the big French Commander tournament in Vegas last year at MagicCon. So
wow,
she's the world champ as far as I'm concerned. But her commander is Deadpool, which again, something we can get to later. Super, super broken in that very specific format. But yeah, so I think pre-modern is very much like community driven. Almost all the other construction formats are managed by Wizards.
Okay.
And they have like which basically just means they decide what's banned and what's not. And they're the formats that you can play, I don't know, in Wizards sanctioned events, basically, which again comes with its own set of problems because certain stores have different qualifications for having tournaments. And there are a lot of tournaments where you have to have actual copies of the cards, which can be, very financially difficult for a lot of people. So a lot of the community managed formats like proxy your cards, bring them as long as, they look somewhat reasonable, like everything's cool. So
do What kind of competitive formats are there? I mean, so is it all managed by Wizards, or are there like private like circuits that are going on, or people hosting like private like Magic tournaments that are not necessarily like Wizard ranked sort of tournaments?
So a vast majority of the competitive Magic is like privately organized now. So there used to be like the Grand Prix circuit and all this stuff, which were these big events that were like pretty regular, like twice a month, like Europe, North America, South America, all over. Post COVID, that like shrunk significantly.
Shocker.
So like the main, like the Pro Tour still exists, but the path there is very different. So now there are regional championship qualifiers, which are held by stores that are organized by Wizards. From those, you can qualify to the regional championships, which they're like 6 a year. And then at the regional championships, if you perform well enough, you can make it to the Pro Tour. And so like that's the stuff that Wizards does. So it's literally just the feeder events into the Pro Tour, the Pro Tours, and then the World Championships. And then something that's happening next year called the Limited Championships, which is very exciting, which I'm going to, which is a thing they haven't done in a very long time, which is a super, super high level limited only event that you have to qualify for that they're going to do, which is pretty
interesting. Cool. Are they going to is that something they're going to like reveal an unseen set for potentially at some point, or is that going to
They haven't said exactly when it's going to be next year being 2027. So like the 2026 year is like qualifying for it. There was an event last weekend where the first, well, I guess, so there's a new thing called Magic Spotlight Series, which is sort of what the Grand Prix used to be, which are these big open events that are much more infrequent than Grand Prix. But last weekend there was one in Atlanta and one in Lyon in France. And those were the first events where they had the limited championship qualifiers. And the nice thing about it is like a lot of people think that limited's very random because you open up your packs, you don't know what's going to be in there.
Sure.
All this, they think it's like very luck based. But everyone that qualified for the limited world championships last weekend is the people you thought would qualify for the limited world championships. It's like the best players in the world won the events because the best players in the world win limited events. So
yeah, because they understand the cards and interactions, and
yeah.
So
and it's just hard to build and play a deck that's just like inherent. But that's like the Wizard stuff. But there are all these private circuits that run their own like things. There's one at my store that runs yearly. Every month there's an event. There's a leaderboard, and at the end, like we have like a little tournament for the top 16 for prizing. There's a really big one in the Midwest called NRG Series, which is like this huge sort of. There was this thing a long time ago called the SCG series, which was Star City Games, sort of ran parallel to Grand Prix, and was the other big tournament series that was all around the country. And the NRG series is a little bit like that, but it's just the Midwest. There's really no like big national circuit that exists anymore, which is a little bit sad.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, right? Like it's like losing a piece of the history of where the game came from in a lot of ways, which is shocking to me. As much money as they make hand over fist printing little pieces of paper, and never mind the digital interface, because I mean you play online too.
Yes, yeah, the amount of money that they print from I think Magic the Gathering Arena, which is sort of the one you can get on your phone. It has to. I saw they did like their financial disclosures, quarterly or whatever, and like all of their money comes from Magic Arena basically.
Yeah,
at this point, like it just the economy on there, if you haven't been playing it since it came out like me, is pretty miserable. Like if you want to just start from scratch and build a deck, the amount of money that it costs you to build a deck of cards that are not real, that are not redeemable for real cards, which was the nice thing about Magic the Gathering Online is you could trade your cards in for real cards if you have them all. They call them set redemptions, and you can sell them for money because there's an economy of where a ticket is $1, and there's auction houses and stuff. Well, you technically can't sell them for money, but you can sell them for tickets, and you can sell tickets for money.
Those little workarounds. We call that a loophole.
It's like the Diablo auction house or whatever, right? Where it's like real money transactions happen at some point, and you can turn your digital cards back into money or into actual cards. Magic the Gathering Arena is completely locked in, sort of like Apple style walled garden. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out, except your dollars go in. Your
dollary dues.
Yeah. So they're making so much money, but like there used to be a thing where you could be a professional Magic player and that could be your job.
Yeah.
Because you were qualified for all the Pro Tours, they would fly you to them and all that stuff. That is not really sustainable anymore. Like the people that do it as a job make content around it.
And that's the thing that kills me is like the amount of licensing they do, like the churn and burn that they do with releases is crazy to me.
Yeah, so Disney owns Marvel at this point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I think that they definitely do not own Wizards is because the Spider-Man set that came out recently, which I guess we can talk about universes beyond if we're talking about IP at this point. The Spider-Man set that came out recently, the digital cards are not, there's no, Spider-Man does not appear on them. Right. Yeah. And so I feel like if Disney owned Hasbro, that would not be a problem. Like the licensing would probably work.
Fair.
But yeah, the licensing for that, ungodly amounts of money are being spent on that stuff. And if you look at like the roadmap for what Magic is going to be this year, like 60% of it is not Magic.
It's like the film industry,
not Magic in the way that I understand it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're just going to give you a bunch of garbage reboots and superhero movies that everyone's sick of. Like, yeah. Come on.
It's just nostalgia baiting to the nth degree. And honestly, like Wizards, there's enough stuff that if they printed cards at the rate that they used to print them, they wouldn't need any of this stuff.
Right.
But there's become this thirst for product. And so now there's like 8 sets a year instead of 3, which is what used to be the state of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, yeah, I saw like there's this crazy picture of like, here's all the stuff this year. There is Lorwyn Eclipsed, which is coming out this weekend or next weekend, which is, actual Magic. It's going back to Lorwyn. We got fairies and stuff. And then there's a Universes Beyond set that is unannounced Universes Beyond set. I think they've probably announced what that is, but then there's Secrets of Strixhaven, which is again Magic, and then Marvel Superheroes, The Hobbit, Reality Fracture, which is another Magic thing, and then Star Trek. That's what's happening this year. I think that the unannounced Universes Beyond is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set, which I saw a truck driving around painted like all in Ninja Turtle stuff when I was in New York randomly the same weekend as Comic-Con, and I was like, this is great. Everything's great.
I do love the turtles, but I
said the thing is I do too. I just don't want them in my
Magic.
I don't want them in my game.
I want my Magic to be Magic, and I want my Teenage Mutant Turtles to be over there doing turtle stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it was like when they went the string just recently of like was it like Avatar to Avatar to Final Fantasy to what did they do after the Final Fantasy release?
Yes, so last year they did Final Fantasy, and then they did Spider-Man.
That was one,
Avatar.
Yeah,
those were the 3. And then before Final Fantasy was Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lord of the Rings was good. I was fine with because it's sword and sorcery, right?
Right,
like,
it's in the same genre at least.
It fits into the genre of the game. And then Final Fantasy, things got a little weird, but the set was great and the draft format was great and they did a really good job. And then Spider-Man was like a huge disaster. Like to the point where like I stopped playing. I just didn't play for a while because there's nothing to play except Spider-Man, and it was like half a real set, and they had to invent a new way to draft it because there weren't enough cards.
Oh my god!
It was a nightmare. No one bought any of it either. Like it was the thing where we're gonna print money because the Final Fantasy stuff sold so well. No one wanted any of it because it was just a terrible product. Like it having Spider-Man on it wasn't enough, which was heartening. It means it needs to be good still, which I am happy about. But there's just so much of it that I don't know. And they're going to start exhausting design space too, which is a concern of mine.
Yeah, I mean, exactly right. Like at some point, you're just being duplicative, and you're printing. At that point, we're just going to slap a new IP on it, or a new theme, or a new picture, and it's going to basically do the exact same thing as something else. I'm still waiting for the Pokemon Magic
crossover
where it's Magic but just Pokemon, because that'll be
I could see them pulling Pokemon into Magic. Yeah,
it's crazy to me that game's still around.
We'll get Yu-Gi-Oh into Magic.
There you go. That'll be the end of it. That's because that truly will be the monopoly of paper cards at that point.
Yeah, I guess Pokemon recently had its renaissance thanks to COVID money and financialization of everything.
I was talking to somebody literally just the other day, and they said that, and I don't know how legit this is. I did not fact check, but they said that currently Pokemon cards and decks, like boxes of Pokemon cards, are more stable financial investment than the stock market at that moment in time when we were talking.
Not surprising.
Like, wow. That's saying something.
Yeah, and I don't know, the it seems like the competitive scene is actually pretty healthy for that game. Just
Yep.
part of the reason is the cards are so cheap.
Yeah.
The thing about Pokemon cards is if you want just the cards, they cost nothing. If you want the super special foil printing, you're gonna, pay an arm and a leg. But if you just want to play the game, you can build. I think the deck that won Worlds last year was like $50 something.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's the thing that like gets me about Magic is like I remember when you used to be able to. I mean we're talking back in like revised era, so this is like the 90s, like early 2000s. But like you go get like a starter deck for like I don't know, $15, $20, $25, and admittedly, like way back in the day, the starter decks were basically unplayable because it was just like a hodgepodge of cards thrown together in a deck, and it didn't make like you'd have red cards and you'd have like one red mana in the entire deck. And you're like, you can't play this. Clearly they were not intentionally constructed back then. But like like now you want to go buy a like my wife and I we do like a deck every Christmas as a stocking stuffer, right? And you go buy a deck and they're I don't know like $80, and or more sometimes. And it's crazy to me that the rate that it goes up, especially considering like how much money they have to be making and their IP investments and all that kind of stuff. Like they're just they're putting so much out in saturation, right? I don't know. Like it just feels dirty.
Yeah. So much of it is like there is an MSRP, but they get scalped immediately and then they get resold for whatever the contents are worth because the totality of the things are leaked. And the day that they announce these things, there's a spreadsheet of how much each one is worth and which one you should buy because everything is again financialized now. That's all anyone cares about. But
and it's the same thing I've heard about. Like I think it was Pokemon too, that people are scalpers, like third party resellers, are just buying everything up and then reselling it at exorbitant amounts, basically at higher amounts than. And so you can't even just, generally speaking, you can't even just go into a shop and like, I'm going to go buy Pokemon cards because the day they're released, they're just bought up. And
there was like a Pokemon, I think it was called like Pokemon 151 or something. It was like this like product that they released was a bunch of old stuff that was like should have been easily available and it was cheap because Game Freak doesn't care about like they sell things for reasonable prices, but they all just got picked up and scalped and like you couldn't buy them. There are people that like they weigh Pokemon packs because the foils are heavier. Like if you have like a cocaine scale, you can tell the difference between a pack with a foil and a pack without one. Like it's wild.
Jimmy, this your cocaine scale? No, that's my Pokemon scale. Don't you go touching it. It's balanced down to the micron. Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I read a article the other day that was saying a couple things. One was that Magic the Gathering is the most complicated game that exists.
Okay.
And at least in comparison to any other card game. But I believe they're trying to make the argument that it is up for being the most complicated game currently like produced.
Period.
Yeah. And even more so than chess. Why did I say chess? That's weird. Chess. And to another article that was talking about the use of gaming, and they were talking chess, like Magic specifically was mentioned, certain war games and everything with neurodivergence and people with like autism and things like that, to be able to process and make like moral ethical decisions and learn social interaction and social construct in a environment where like the you and I have a mutual interest and we're here for that. So this makes this a safe social space for me to engage in because we're both here to play Magic, right? I don't have to deal with small talk or like the complexities of social interaction with another human being or whatever.
Right.
I'm assuming their argument for the complexity of Magic simply has to do with the depth and breadth of cards available, because they just kind of like just touched on it and moved on. They didn't really give a good like thesis as to why they were making this argument that it was the most complicated, at least card game, if not game in existence.
Yeah, from like a pure like math perspective of like there are in cards you can put in your deck, and you shuffle your 60 cards and you'll never get the exact same sequence or whatever. I could understand like just from like the way that like exponentially the amount of the decision tree grows like once you draw your first card. I could understand the way that they would come to that,
because it's not a density of rules necessarily, or unless they're treating every card like its own rule set effectively.
Well, the actual like rule set for Magic is insanely complicated. Like most people don't. I'd say 99% of people that play the game don't understand the rules, and even people that I know people that play. Even I like there are rules interactions that I have to ask my like judge friends about to this day. Like the game is so complicated that like someone that has been playing it for 20 years or whatever, like I have, still like there are rules and interactions that I think I maybe understand, but I still ask someone that has taken the test, right? And even they will sometimes go have to ask the next judge tier up about your complicated interaction. Because like between like layers and timestamps and like there's all this stuff that happens in the game that never matters until it does, and all these like really weird esoteric rules interactions that are like make the actual rule set, like the Magic rule book is like a tome. It's huge because they have to very strictly define every single piece of gameplay, and it only grows with time, because every time they print a new keyword, there's a new set of rules and how it might interact with like
all the previous rules.
Things
Can you imagine being on that like quality control group?
A nightmare.
Oh, guys, we got 3 new keywords.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, because the rules set is so expansive and there are so many cards, like you can't really like algorithmically saying like, here's a new thing, plug it in, how does it affect everything? I don't know. It seems kind of impossible. Like Magic the Gathering Online has the entire rule engine of Magic built into it, and I think is like a marvel. Like I don't know how they do it. There are a bunch of cards that are not on Magic the Gathering Arena because it's too complicated to program them in, and like they're like the benefit is just not there. But Magic the Gathering Online has all of them, and it's extremely impressive that this thing still works. Like it looks like a spreadsheet, but it functions as a fully functioning Magic client. All the rules interactions, unless they break something, which happens a lot, but they, usually pretty quickly fix those things. Like extremely impressive piece of software that again looks like an Excel spreadsheet, and it's looked like that since it first came out. But it is like where you go to play competitive online Magic. Like the best players in the world are on there. So
Excel is basically wizardry to me. I still understand it as an adult. Like I'm like, I don't know, there's magic going on here to make these things happen. I don't really get it. I just say A1 : B6 and all of a sudden weird math pops out and it's right. And it's great.
Have you seen the Excel World Championships?
What? No.
Incredible. Yeah. So they have like all this set of challenges that you have to do. It's like, literally a race, right? Of like transforming these rows and all of this stuff. And these guys are absolute. It's crazy. It's like intense. You should look it up. It's like it's legitimately impressive. I don't know if these guys are all just like quants or like work on Wall Street or whatever, but like they're Excel wizards, and they've turned it into a, it's on like the ESPN8, the Ocho or whatever, I think.
So good. Oh man, like it's like slap fighting. I love the fringe sports channels because the stuff that they put on there is just so niche, like the weird card drifting competitions.
Yeah,
and,
I was at the gym a while ago, and they always have. Well, sometimes one of the TVs is on the Ocho, which is an actual thing that exists now post dodgeball, and it was like the Pop-A-Shot World Championships. So like playing the little tiny mini basketball game. And there was this one guy that was just apparently the LeBron James of Pop-A-Shot. Like he was just destroying everyone. Like no close matches at all. Like everyone else should not have even been in his presence. And so, find anything and someone will have become the best in the world at it.
Did you see the documentary on the guy who made the Carolina Reaper?
No.
Pepper. Yeah, so there's I think it's called Reaper, if I'm not mistaken. And it's not a Sons of Anarchy adjacent show. It's actually a documentary on this guy who I think he's in like rural South Carolina or something like that, grew the Carolina Reaper. Yeah. And he does a host of competition every year. And I think it's only like $1,000 for the person who wins. And it's 13 peppers. And the Reaper is number 5 or 6 in the food chain. Like he has like 6 peppers or something hotter, and every year he continues to make hotter peppers. And
so they're all his peppers.
Yeah, they're all his. Like they're all his own. Like or like maybe like the base ones might be like a habanero or like whatever. He's probably still growing them or whatever. But
like the Bahut Jalokia or whatever. An Indian one that's like.
And he always has one, and he made one. I remember that was like the 12th or 13th. It was like one of the last peppers. And he's like, I don't even have a name for it. And it's crazy because you'll talk in there and he's like in there and he's checking them, and you'll just take them and just raw dog these peppers and like it's nothing. And I'm just like, I don't understand how you exist and what does your gastrointestinal situation look like. And I kid you not, like you got to look it up because these people are like snot's coming out of their face. They're like sobbing. I mean, people are like vomiting everywhere. It is gross to watch these people eat this stuff. And they're like bright ass red. I mean, it is. and it's just like just regular ass people doing this competition.
Yeah,
we've
got the Homer Simpson Guatemala insanity pepper.
Yeah, it's an experience to behold that documentary. That's wild. That's a good one. You should definitely put that on your to-do.
Yeah, I had this small period of time in my life where I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat like the hottest thing I can find, and then I got over that really quickly.
Was it something Asian?
It was just it was I was go to the Thai restaurant, ask for everything like just
Thai hot.
as spicy as you can do it, and then it tastes bad, and then you
Yep.
feel bad, but
Yep.
some like misplaced masculinity or something. I don't know.
And
But
you know
very, very
about
much over that at this point.
the hidden Thai heat.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
The barista at a coffee shop I used to go to was Thai, and we would go to the Thai restaurant across the street, and they would make her things that they would not make for me.
Yep.
Like, wasn't even an option. And she'd be like, if you asked for what I asked for word for word, we would get completely different dishes. It's like, you know what? That's fair. They're probably keeping me safe.
I mean, that's just what it is. Exactly. When they're like, give me the hottest thing you got, they're like, give them a 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's white boy. He can't handle it.
Yeah. My same coworker I was talking about earlier, we went to this Indian restaurant when we were on travel for work. And we were like, okay, we'll take like whatever is medium. And then it was just like, it was like a 0 out of 10. It's because they didn't want to like.
So I used to work with
to send it back.
A lady who was Indian and East Indian. And we went out to eat one time at an Indian joint. And she actually does not like hot food, which is a wonderful bit of irony.
Yeah.
That we're sitting down in this restaurant. And I like reasonably hot food. Like I don't want to suffer, right? But I like some kick to my food. And so I asked him to like crank up whatever, like the tikka masala, or I don't remember what I got that day. And she specifically was like, yeah, I don't want mine hot. And they brought it out, and it was hotter than my food. And she was like, they do this every damn time. She's like, but this is like mellow to an Indian palate, but she's like, they never believe me when I tell them I don't want it hot. Like they're like, I tell people like I want it like a white person, not hot, like like not hot. She's like, I want it like not spicy, like white, not spicy. And
that same restaurant we were at, there was this Indian woman with her mother eating at the table behind us, and they brought the food out, and her mother like sent all the food back because it was too hot. It's just like again. And I was just like, give us that. We'll
can I try that?
Like, yeah.
Give me a little bit of that. Yeah.
And her mother was just like, no, I don't want this. Send this back. And they were like effusively apologizing. And her daughter was just like, this is so embarrassing.
Have you ever sent back a cup of coffee?
No, I won't do it.
You won't do it?
No.
Will you throw it away, or will you grin and bear it and just
I grin and bear it. I drink some really, really, really bad cups of coffee. Nope. I won't send them back. No, sir.
I'll throw it away. I'll throw that shit away.
I had a cup of coffee recently that I like went to a place. I was like back home for Christmas, home adjacent. And I was like, okay, there's this coffee shop. They roast their own beans, whatever. Like in my college town, they made me a pour over that was like lukewarm whenever I got it. And I'm like a let my coffee cool guy because I don't like super hot beverages, which is ironic because I drink a lot of coffee. And it was like lukewarm. Like the water they brewed it with was not hot enough to actually like turn it into a cup of coffee. And I still just drank it and then left.
Barf.
Yeah. But I don't know. My threshold for like sending back food or anything like that is so ridiculously high.
Why?
I don't know. I think it is some sort of
do you not want to make it feel bad?
It's that, and I think people are so awful to service workers.
Sure.
That I just am like, thank you so much. I appreciate you for making food for me. I'll eat this. But yeah.
I mean, I appreciate somebody making me an espresso or something as well. But like, if it's hot garbage, I mean, I'm not gonna, maybe I won't make him like do another one, but I'll just toss it out. I'll be like, I'm not gonna drink that.
Yeah,
I've done that so many times. It could just coffee specifically.
An intense aversion to conflict too, which is definitely a part of my personality. Where it's just like, this is fine. Like everything's okay. My life's fine. This is just a small bad thing I'm going to deal with. Right? Maybe it builds character. There's a James Hoffman video. James Hoffman's a coffee YouTuber.
Let us introduce you to our Lord and Savior, James Hoffman.
Yeah. I have his second edition World Atlas of Coffee here, right on my desk.
Right. This is so appropriate. Did you do this intentionally, or was that just happening to sit there?
It was literally like within arm's reach, and I just grabbed it to sit down with it. Okay, just for this, but
I love that because like I saw you flicking magic cards with your left hand, and now you've got the Hoffman Bible on your right.
Yeah, I flick magic cards as a way to think.
That's your tick.
That is my tick. Always doing it to the point where like I have to sometimes ask people when I'm in like a meeting at work, like, can you hear me flicking cards? This microphone is so close to me that I'm not going to do it because it would definitely be audible. But yeah, then my my coffee atlas on the other side.
What's in the atlas? Would you recommend it for the?
It's really, really cool.
Connoisseur?
It's like exhaustive. It's like,
but by Hoffman, I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's like, this is a coffee tree, right? This is all the varietals of coffee, and then it's like, this is how it's harvested. This is how it's roasted. This is how it's processed. These are what beans from these places taste like. Like, this is how to brew it. Like, it's like exotic. It's a very, very, very cool book. I don't know. Awesome. I'm assuming you can still get them. I like pre-order so much of his stuff that I don't know like what is available, but yeah, it's a really, really cool book. There's like so much stuff in there.
And you tried his like freeze-dried pods or whatever he did, right?
Yeah, he did a collaboration with Cometeer where they have these weird
concentrated stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like a concentrated coffee pod you can just pour hot water over, and they're very, very, very good. Surprisingly good. I was not prepared for it to taste like anything at all, but they all tasted like what I would have expected them to taste like by reading the description of them. They're very expensive, but
yeah,
they stay in your freezer and you can have an actual good cup of coffee in like 30 seconds, which is pretty impressive to me.
Well, how much do they cost per?
Way too much. Let me see.
More than a vanilla latte venti at Starbucks.
Let's see. $60 for 16 capsules. This is the James Hoffman Discovery box though.
Mm-hmm.
There are they partner with like all these different brewers. Like one of the brewers here in San Diego actually does some stuff with them. But they're basically they're like between $2 and $3 a cup, depending on which ones
that's
you
not
get.
Terrible. Yeah. You can see if you're getting bags of beans that are like 10-ounce bags, then that's still going to be more expensive, I guess. Actually,
don't even get me started on the 10-ounce bags.
Talk to me about 10-ounce bags because I got beef with them.
My wife got me a bag of coffee today. Beautiful bag of coffee from a place that I did not even know made coffee. Like this new bakery that just opened up, and it was an 8-ounce bag.
What?
For $22.
Shut up.
Insane. I was like, how are the bags getting smaller? No, it was like it was a single origin Ethiopian natural process. So it's like all the stuff I want to drink.
Yep, exactly.
But $22 for 8 ounces.
No.
Insane. And they're not even a coffee shop. It's a pastry shop.
Yeah, see,
so
I get annoyed with that. I understand we are paying for the privilege of drinking really nice coffee, right? But if I'm paying more than like $25 for a 12-ounce bag, it's got to be something rare, right? Like, and I try to keep it more towards the 20 or under, but it's getting harder and harder to find a 12-ounce bag of coffee that's under $20 if it's like a single origin or something like that. Blends you can find still, like, and there's some like, so I recently started exploring Black and White, which is out of Raleigh, North Carolina, I think, and they have a wildly extensive menu of, I don't know how they roast so many beans, and they roast twice a week, which is crazy to me. They have a massive wide swath, like the most beans on any menu I've ever seen of a coffee roaster. And it's like they really specialize in like the funky natural varieties, types of processing. Not a lot of dark roasts, which I appreciate, but I just got their blend called the Original, and it's technically a dark roast, but it is like a clean profile, and it's actually quite good. It's the first blend I've had in a very, very long time that I've been like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, I don't know the last time I had a blended coffee that wasn't like out of from at the office or whatever.
Right, yeah. The Place of Sorrows.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that episode that Hoffman did when he tasted all the American off-the-shelf grocery store coffees?
Oh, yeah.
I like his disclaimer when he's like, if you're triggered by slurping, go ahead and mute your mic right now.
He has 2 audio tracks on his videos now, one with slurps and one without. It's because like it became such a thing that he was like, okay, there's a separate audio track where the slurps are removed that you can select when you play the video, so you don't have to like worry about like muting or getting like jump scared by a slurp. You can just like pick the no slurp track, and then you're safe.
It's really that big of a deal, huh?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Misophonia or something. That's the
misophonia. Actually, I knew somebody. I used to work with somebody who had that, and I learned the hard way because I was whistling coming down the hallway one time, and they stuck their head out and they screamed at me from like down the hallway, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "Coming to see you, actually." And they're like, "Well, can you stop whistling?" And I was like, "Okay, so you hate joy?" And I walked in, and they were like, "Do you see the note on the board?" I was like, "Misophonia." Yeah, what is that? And they're like, It's what I have. It's the condition, and basically it's like nails on a chalkboard. Anytime you do noises like whistle, and I was like, sorry. So I had to learn to stop doing that. What are you drinking?
There's a couple of podcasts that I listened to where they have like one of the hosts has a really bad habit of eating while on the pod, which I don't want to hear, but it doesn't bother me. But then he had so many people comment that he had to like consciously stop doing it because they were like, I have to turn your podcast off because like I literally can't.
How do you have to consciously stop eating on a podcast? Like how long is this? Like a 5.5 hour podcast? He's got to like carb load.
They do like an hour and I don't know. It's just one of those where they're just him and his buddy are sitting around talking. So it's just like,
so munching.
Get some,
some Cheetos,
get some peanuts in or whatever. Yeah. I'm drinking a Japanese ice pour over, which is my favorite way to drink. My favorite way to drink coffee, but it's been so frigidly cold in San Diego that I've been drinking hot coffee for the last several months.
60 degrees.
So cold. So miserable. Cold. But I just left. I just got back from the gym to sit down to do this, and I was like, you know what would be really good is a nice iced coffee, which I haven't done in a very long time. This is like a Peruvian single origin. It's like medium-ish, but it's like from a newish roaster that's here. I don't know how new it is. It's new to me. I've only got a couple bags from there, but it's been interesting. It's called Ox Coffee. OX.
Ox.
I always think it's like AUX, but yeah. But this is like a Peruvian single origin. It's very like it's like fruitier than most coffees from down there, which I appreciate.
Is that the one from Barrio Logan or something like that? Is that the
No, it's in Mission Valley. It's like yeah, it's like it's like oddly sterile in there, and it's like next door to Breakfast Republic. It's in a place that I don't ever want to be, but their coffee's good. So
interesting.
Yeah,
It's been
a nice little
nice what? I'm just gonna leave the pause there until you finish your statement.
It's been a nice departure from always just going to Bird Rock all the time, which is still my go-to, and I think they do the best stuff, but they're like so popular that like going in there and buying a bag of beans is sometimes like an ordeal. And I don't want to like drive to La Jolla or whatever.
I'll still order from Dark Horse because they've got some decent stuff that's pretty good. I was on Good Times, not Good Times, what are they called? Greater Goods out of Austin for quite a while. They do 12-ounce bags, thank you very much. But I felt like their stable of beans were getting kind of samey. So I kind of fell off of those guys. I've been super stoked with Black and White. There's another one, Roadworks, that I've had some of their stuff, and it's okay. Their stuff tends to just be a little bit darker. Even their like single origin Ethiopians and stuff tend to just not necessarily over roasted, but just a darker profile.
Yeah, I really like. I mostly just buy local stuff, but if I'm ordering from a place, I like Vibrant from out of Philadelphia.
Vibrant's really good too. Yeah.
My wife lived there briefly, and would go. It was like next to her apartment. I would go down there. They had this bag of coffee that I had been drinking a lot of coffee for a long time at this point. That like changed my brain about what coffee could taste like. It literally tasted like bubble gum. And I went back the next day, and they were like, it's gone. And I was like, when will it be back? And they're like, it will never be back, ever, under any circumstances. This is like a one-off thing. You will never have this again. And so I cherished that bag for as long as I could. And I think about it a lot. I've never tasted anything like it. I don't know what they did to it. I don't even have a picture of it. I think I took a picture of it and lost it. But yeah, it was like literally, it was like drinking bubble gum, but in a good way. It blew my mind. It was like the sweetest cup of coffee I've ever had.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You said taking a picture and it's gone forever. It made me think about an article that I read on the loss of experience, because we take pictures of things, we take videos, and we are saving a snapshot of a thing that happens instead of being in the moment and absorbing it into our actual like consciousness and our memory, as opposed to what we're doing with these pictures, right? Which is we're taking the snapshot that we go back and we look at, but we're looking at a freeze frame of it, not recalling the actual experience that we had when we were there. It was interesting. It was also they're also talking about the loss of storytelling, and because an experience was tied to the story of what happened, right? Whereas a picture is separate from that story. It's non-contextual,
Yeah, my most boomer opinion is about cell phones in public places and how they should be banned from basically everywhere.
With that. I'm seriously looking at the light phone. I really am.
I think it would improve my life a lot, but I don't know. I as much as I hate it, I'm still kind of addicted to it, which I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah, and I don't have like any social media or anything like that to like doom scroll, but there is that sense of because I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make the transition to the light phone because I've been in the Apple sphere for ever, and I have been trying to catch myself every time I pick my phone up and I do something like research something on the internet or like stream something, you know, because the light phone doesn't have those capabilities. Like it has a gig of storage for music and podcasts.
That's
Like
tough.
that's it. And you have to take the songs over and put them on there, or take the podcast and
Right.
download them directly to it, right, when you're
Like
on Wi-Fi.
moving files onto the iPod.
Totally, yeah, exactly. And there's a piece of it that like seems very interesting and appealing to me from the simplicity's sake, but I'm also trying to, and they have a new camera now, but like it's like point and shoot style. So you take the picture and you have to download it. You can't look at it, right? You have to download it later, which is also kind of cool.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of like film photography in the last like year, which has been really nice because we'll like go shoot a roll of film and then it goes into the pile of like film to be developed. And then when we want to develop film, we'll just like grab 2 random rolls, get them developed, and they're like, oh, this was 18 months ago or whatever. Like because there's no like ordering to them. It's just this is all the film. Like none of it's labeled, so it's like a nice little surprise of, oh yeah, I remember that thing. And because like you're just taking the picture and moving on, like you don't sit with it and try to get the frame right. And I think it like adds to the experience, like where we're talking about like the phone's taking away from the experience. I think like something about film photography like adds to it, because it's like, okay, I'm going to take this moment, snap it, and now I can move on, right? I'm not going to hyper analyze the thing I just tried to capture here, and like if it's up to my standards, right?
Yeah, because you think
like
about
take
that,
a picture, hope it's in focus, right? Like all that kind of stuff is just getting a roll of film that's like half like terrible shots. There's like something kind of nice about it. It's just like, yeah, like I did it and it didn't, the temporality of it, right? The moment was messy and that's good. Kind of refreshing.
Yeah, 100%. It's like art, that the temporalness of creating something, the fact that it can cease to exist, right? Or like creating a piece of art and then you sell it and it's gone, and it's like that piece will never be around anymore. And we've lost a lot of. I feel like we've lost a lot of that with the capability of like, oh, well, I'm just going to always have everything at my disposal all the time. Same thing going back to the music piece, right? Like listening to music. I just got a new set of speakers for my record player. I've been seriously considering getting a tape deck, but like if I get a tape deck, I only want to get metal tapes. I don't want like anything else. I just want like garage recorded death metal and hardcore cassettes. Like that's the only thing I want to have in my cassette collection. My record collection is much more diverse in that, obviously, but there's like I find myself like I want to listen, but the time that I have to with intentionality, or the time at least that I allow myself with the intentionality to be able to sit down and just put a record on, even if I'm kind of puttering around, in the couple rooms I could still hear the music from, is almost non-existent at this stage of my life. And it feels like a travesty that there's not that intentionality, that calm in that space. Like I don't know, like even like watching like TV, like watching shows and stuff like that. Like we have so many options. How much intentionality do I have when I sit down and I watch a show, or do I go and do a thing where it's like, oh, this is the next new Marvel movie, or the next, big series everyone's talking about, and like I didn't finish the last series I was in, or I'm like dicking around on my phone while I'm, watching a show halfway or something like that. I truly feel like my attention span is worse today than it was 5 years ago, kind of a thing,
Yeah. We've been collecting more and more physical media. Like we have a ton of records, and like that was a thing for a while, and now we've started collecting. I was going to call them DVDs, but they're not DVDs anymore. Like 4K Blu-rays of stuff. And like it's funny to call media consumption something that is attention building, but like we watch movies now from discs, right? No phones, 2 hours, sit with a movie, no distractions. It's been really, I don't know, there's something been really nice about it, of like regaining my ability to pay attention to something. Because if it's a TV show, like 30 minutes at a time or whatever, like you can usually give that. I mean, I guess a lot of people nowadays can't even give that. When it's like a 2.5 hour movie or whatever. I went to see Resurrection at it's like a local art house theater here called the Digital Gym, that shows like stuff you can't see in like AMC or whatever.
Sure.
And there's this Chinese movie called Resurrection. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It's like in 5 parts that are like 5 senses,
Mhm.
like very slow, deliberate movie. And it was nice to just, I'm in this room, almost 3 hours, no phone, no distractions, just sitting with this piece of art this person made. And it's, again, calling media consumption like something positive feels weird because it's still media consumption, but
Sure, yeah.
it's much more intentional than
It's a more intentional
watching
format.
90 Day Fiance or whatever.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of brain fodder out there, but I think that that's the thing that's so interesting to me is it's the cyclical piece, right? Like we're coming back to a place of we're so consumed by digital stuff that I want to be engaged with something with intentionality, right? It's so like back in like late 2000s, early 2000 teens, and playing a lot. I distinctly remember the time I was in my apartment. I was playing Call of Duty with a friend, and I'm like, my boy literally lives 10 blocks from me. What am I doing sitting here 3 days a week on chat, on Xbox Live,
Mm-hmm.
talking to him instead of hanging out with him, right?
Yeah.
And especially going back to my childhood when like that's all I did was hang out with my best friend. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna start board game nights, right? So that's when I started getting really heavy into board gaming. And it was a good era for it and whatever. And I'm at a place now too, like I still play a bunch of war games and board games and everything like that. And I have found myself at this place where I was doing a demo of Malifaux recently, and like you can basically play the entire game from an app on your phone
Mm-hmm.
or your device, right? So you don't need the cards, and most of the cards are outdated anyways that had been printed, right? And they're not reprinting them; they're just updating the app, that kind of thing. And it's not the only game that's like that where I find like I have to more often than not play from a device sitting on the table while I'm pushing around little miniatures or whatever, and I find it annoying every single
Yeah.
time. I'm like, I was talking to somebody the other day about this because they're like, "Why do you keep buying paper rule books for stuff? Like if you're like going to go do a Kickstarter or there's a game and why don't you just buy the PDF because they'll update the PDF like indefinitely as long as the company's around." I was like, because one, I want to touch the thing and I want to flip through it, and it brings me joy to see that book on a shelf, right? Especially if there's cool art, because typically that's what I'm going for if I'm getting like a printed copy. And two, if my kid wants to play this game with me in 10 years, do you think I give a crap that it's been balanced and updated? No, we'll just house rule it if something's broken, right? It doesn't really matter. Like but I want to be able to pull a book out and be like, hey, check it out. Look at all the cool art. Look at all the, like flip through the paper, and stuff. And I miss that. I've even gone back to doing like I was a hard Kindle reader, and I've gone back on paper books, man. Thriftbooks.com. I've bought so many books off there recently. I'm like, what? That's a $5 book. I'll take that. Going to like used bookstores instead of even new bookstores a lot of the time. And have I picked up some really crappy old pulp books from the 60s and 70s? Absolutely. But have they been at least quasi enjoyable to read? Yep, sure have.
Yeah, I've been trying very, very desperately to read more, and it is such a struggle for me. That's the one thing where my attention is really like strained, is trying to read.
My problem,
I don't really like reading fiction. I read a lot of nonfiction, but again, like it becomes a little, I don't know. And the stuff I read is, I don't know, ends up just being depressing. It's like the same thing with like my phone. Like Twitter is like, it's like, and people call my phone like dopamine machine, but it's like a cortisol machine for me. Like I just scroll to make myself mad, and I keep going because I'm getting angrier. And then but then I keep coming back to it because I don't know, my body like needs it at this point or something.
That's why I don't read the news, because I just get pissed off.
Yeah,
and it's no good for anyone.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, that sounds like
my
three eyeballs.
But yeah, we'll just like grab random books out of like the little library on the corner in the neighborhood. And my wife randomly grabbed Lonesome Dove.
Oh wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah, so she started reading it, and then like a month later, it became like a TikTok thing of everyone's reading Lonesome Dove now. And she's like, I don't want to read it now. Like that's not. I found it in the little library and picked it up, and I was like, oh, a fun old Western. Let's read this 1,000-page book. And then everyone else started doing it, and she's like, I don't want to do this, but now I'm in too deep. Like I need to know what's going to happen to the gang, right? Like
such hipsters. Yeah, it's cool. So I can't do it anymore. Yeah, well, my wife just started reading. Literally, just I handed her the 3-Body Problem. So she's gonna start that. She hadn't read any science fiction in a long time. She's been on a big like romantasy and fantasy kick. And there's a lot of garbage books out there. That's the other thing.
I just bought a bunch of pension books because like I like reading nonfiction, and I like conspiracy stuff and political stuff and all that. Like that's the genre of stuff I end up reading anyways. And so he writes fiction that is about that. So that's my end to like reading fiction and trying to rewire my brain to be able to do that kind of stuff. And then like One Battle After Another was, based off of Vineland. So there's like that little connection. So like, I don't know. I like people who like Pynchon, so I think that I should like it. So we'll see.
Give the old college try.
People that I respect really like Pynchon, so I will.
People that you respect also likes Karl Marx. So,
well, that's the other stuff I read. So
appropriately so. Yeah. No, my problem with reading is I typically only read right before I go to bed or like in bed. So I get like maybe a chapter. If I can finish a chapter, I feel like I've accomplished a thing, because I usually get like 2 pages in and I'm like,
the eyelids are already heavy when you sit down, right?
So now if I try and read during the day like a normal ass human being, I get 2 or 3 pages in and I'm like, time for a nap.
Yeah.
Sucks. I accomplish so little. It takes me so long to read a book. Meanwhile, my wife read like 2 books in one night, and I'll just be like,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm broken, but no, I don't know. That's bringing things full circle. I think that's part of why I like the ritual of making coffee every day. It's very intentional. It's something I have to sit and think about, and I can mess up my coffee every morning if I don't like try.
Yep.
Right. Whereas with a batch brew pot, push the button and it just comes out. Like if I'm not sitting in that moment paying attention to what I'm doing, I'm gonna make myself a bad cup, and there are consequences to my actions. Like
there are. Thankfully, I usually screw up my wife's pot, not my pot, so she doesn't really know. She still believes I make the best coffee, which I really appreciate. But half the time I'll be up in the morning, and then usually I'm up with my kid, because my kid gets up really early, and I'm getting ready, and I'm like prepping like stuff for school, for lunch for them, and like I'm doing my own lunch for work and all that kinds of crap. And I try to take on too many things while I'm trying to make the coffee, right? So I've recently discovered I kind of need to get everything kind of settled and going. Also, I've learned a lot recently about not taking caffeine when you first wake up and letting like the sleep hormones clear your system. So you got like 30 to 90 minutes really before that stuff is out of your system, and then I can like you get a better result from it at that point. Benefit from the caffeine. But it always happens. At least one of the 2 pots, typically in the morning, I'll like finish my bloom, and then I'll be doing something, possibly picking my phone up to check like emails or whatever. And I look at my timer and I'm like, shit, I'm 30 minutes past when I should. I gotta start like quickly pouring the water in and being like, I can't make that much of a difference, can it? It does.
It does.
Or just this past weekend, she was off for getaway, for the weekend, and so I sent all the like pour over V60 stuff with her. And I had my the Hario, like the drip pot, the pour like with the little reusable cloth filter, and I was using that, but I failed to remember that the grind size is a thing, and I had to adjust that because I was over extracting. So good time.
Yeah, I've recently developed a paranoia about whether or not the coffee I am brewing tastes good, because I'm the only person that drinks it, and it's been a long time since anyone else has drank it that cares about coffee. Because my wife can't drink coffee anymore. She's developed this like intense like avert caffeine
sensitivity.
I don't know. We call it an allergy, but like even like teas, none of this stuff.
Wow.
She's on the herbal teas and all this stuff. So I'm the only person that drinks it, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, is this even good? Like, am I brewing this correctly? Because like I think that my palate is like, I can trust my palate, but it's been so long since anyone else has had it. I'm like, this could just be garbage. Like there could be so much more in these beans that I'm not getting out, because I don't have anyone to tell me like, it's under extracted or over extracted, or I need to tweak my grind size.
I totally get that, because my wife is not as retentive about coffee as I am, and is oftentimes very satisfied with just like a good roasted bean. And I'll find like I'm not playing with grind size, right? I'm not adjusting to the roast, or I like forget to adjust the water temperature down if it's like a darker roast or something like that. I'm still brewing at like 205 or whatever. Or for the longest time, I was just brewing at 200 flat, and I just didn't adjust my water temperature. And then recently I had some light roast, and I don't know if I bumped my adjuster up, or I was just like, let me try brewing at 205. And I was like, holy crap, this is so much better at 205 than at 200, and like wildly like more full flavor. And I was just like, man, what am I doing? Why have I gotten so complacent with my morning routine? Probably my
super
OCD,
light. It's probably even better at full boil.
Yeah, I know. Might be.
Yeah.
Well, that would be.
I had
didn't have the balls to do that one.
A friend who I play Magic with, who is actually very much into coffee, was at my house randomly for like we're having like a little party, and he like saw so I have a hand grinder that I make espresso with, because like I have
Nerd.
Getting an electric espresso grinder is insanely expensive. So instead I bought an insanely expensive hand grinder.
It's less
Why
insanely
not?
expensive.
Yeah, now I just have two. And he came over and he saw my hand grinder. He's like, you should really clean that thing out. And I was like, you're the only person that's been in this house that has cared about coffee in the last year. Leave me alone. It's like, I know it. I know I need to
You're
clean
like,
it out.
and you're right. And as soon as he leaves,
yeah,
you're
no,
like,
it literally, as soon as he left, I was like cleaning it out. It's like, next time he comes, it's going to be so clean.
yeah, I just recently, because of you, actually got the grinding beans to clean your grinder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those things are, I don't know why they
probably don't do it as much as I should.
insist on making them look like beans.
I know.
They put the little seam in them and everything, but they're super, super handy.
Placebo.
It's been nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bag of flavored coffee from a local coffee shop that it's like won a bunch of awards, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know whose awards, but supposedly it's won them. And because I thought I had family coming into town, and that's kind of was their jam. And I'm like, oh, I'll get a French press because I have no way to brew in volume, right? And I've done it in the past where I've tried to keep up doing a 2-cup V60 for everyone, and I've only got like one insulated carafe. You know, I mean, it just becomes like a whole, like I've got 4 brews going at the same time on 3 different, systems and crap like that. Got an AeroPress, a drip pot, and a V60 all at once, and it's just like ridiculous. I'm just making coffee for like 2 hours straight. So I was like, screw this. I'm getting the French press. I want to do this. They don't care. They're going to put milk in it anyway. It's like, whatever. And a long way to say, one, I bought it. It was already ground, which I did not realize when I bought it. So I was very upset at the fact that it was like already ground, which also happened to not be the appropriate grind for a French press, it made it more annoying and frustrating. But then like they didn't come. So now I've got this bag of flavored and I keep trying to drink it. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like from a flavored coffee perspective, it is quite good for a flavored coffee, right? It doesn't taste fake. They legitimately did something where they put coconut in it during the, probably.
You're grading on an extreme curve there, though.
I've had like 2 cups of it, and I just have this bag of coffee that I'm going to end up throwing it away because I'll do that.
I have a coworker who I love very much. He always buys me gifts for Christmas, my birthday. He's like a very gift giving guy. I've worked with him for many, many, many years, and he always buys me a bag of coffee, and I always drink it. But
just choke it down.
Recently got me one for Christmas that I have yet to open, and it's like this like bourbon barrel aged thing, and every time they do that, it is so like astringent.
Yep.
Like, and I haven't had the heart to brew one yet. I'm gonna try and like make like coffee liqueur out of it or something. I think.
Oh, there you
go. I'm gonna brew a cup of it, but then I'm gonna try and like turn it into something. I think
do something else with it.
Yeah. He also bought me a very nice bottle of bourbon, which I appreciate. So I'm gonna give the coffee a shot at least.
Yeah, at least the bourbon will get drunk.
Absolutely.
That's the thing about the black and white, actually, is my other selling point, is the 2 people who run black and white roasters are apparently like world champions or something in the world coffee roasting or brewing Olympics or something. I don't know. Yeah, they apparently are,
nice.
They got some weight behind them, and they do a good job with it.
I need to check them out.
You still doing?
They do like online stuff, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You still doing the espresso thing?
I brew espresso much less frequently than I do pour overs, but it's something like my wife is like, she'll like just turn the espresso machine on and she's like, make an espresso. And I'm like, I can, like, I want to do this thing though, but it's something that I don't drink. I need to drink more espresso to like refine my like process. Cause like a new bag of beans, like dialing him in for espresso is just kind of a pain. That's always been my problem, is like I get this new bag of beans, and if I can make a pour over that is like pretty good with anything.
Yep.
But for espresso, like I'll grind it to whatever the last bean was at, and then it just like nothing, or the shot pulls in 8 seconds, and I'm like, all right, well that's a waste. I have to clean everything out and go again. And I get very frustrated with how finicky it can be. But I recently got like a new tamper and like leveler and stuff that has like made the process much more repeatable, because I've always had a problem with my like puck prep is not great, I think, because I don't do it very often and it's easy to mess up. So I've got this new like leveler and tamper that is sort of like makes the puck prep pretty straightforward, and I've pulled a lot of really good shots with that setup, which has been nice. But then like I went home for Christmas and I took my hand grinder with me because I could travel with it, and changed the grind setting to do like AeroPress, and then came back and had to make espresso, and I was like, randomly guess a number and pull a shot in 8 seconds and throw it away and then go again. And the hand grinder I have is very nice, but there's like an attachment they sell to give you half steps for grind, which you actually need for doing espresso. And I'm mad that I need to buy it because it was so expensive in the first place. So I've just been like stubborn about getting it so I could like make better cups, but I'll do it eventually. But
yeah, when I got my hand grinder, it was the same way where they offered like a upgraded burr or something like that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that because it's like an extra $50 just to put a different burr in there, and it's already got like a conical burr, but it was like a certain type of like diamond nitrate something or bullshit, right? And it is like had some sort of super slick coating, and they're like, it does make a difference in the taste, and whatever.
Yeah.
I was like,
this is literally a piece that you replace like the knob on the bottom that you use to adjust the grind setting with this one, and it gives you half steps. And it's just like, why is that just not the way it comes? This makes no like this is insane. It's just a way to get another like, and it's like $30 for this little tiny piece of plastic. This is ridiculous. But then like online, it's like, oh, I'm trying to set my grinder for this like roast, and I'm trying to pull shots, and I'm having this problem, and everyone's like, oh, get the red clicks. Just get the red clicks. And I'm just like,
solve it.
Why? Like, this thing was so expensive.
So what you're saying is, as someone who is getting into the coffee scene, they should totally go with espresso as it's great.
Absolutely, you must.
My first Cuisinart, right?
My first like real quote unquote real coffee setup was I bought a bean to cup Breville espresso machine, and I thought I was the hottest shit in the world when I had it. Like, pulling my shots that were in hindsight had to be terrible. And like you don't do anything. There's a little knob thing to change the grind setting, and that's all you get. And I was putting in Pete's Major Dickinson's blend.
Oh yeah,
which I thought was the best coffee that existed. Yeah, it's come a long way since then.
Yeah, that was an era, man. The Major D coffee beans. That was the only one you could get off the shelf that everyone thought was hot.
Yeah, I got it because the espresso machine in my office had it. And it was like, they bought this like actual nice bean to cup machine because a bunch of people in the office really, really were like coffee freaks. But they still put Major Dickinson's in it, which in hindsight, that's confusing. But that was kind of where we were in coffee at that time, I think. That was like the thing you could get.
5-pound bag from Costco or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was for the office, right? So they're not going to put super nice stuff in there. But yeah, that was when the first time I ever drank too much coffee was in that office. Like, got there at like 4:30 in the morning for reasons that are not important. And then like I forgot I was pulling doubles, and I had like 4 double espressos by like 7 o'clock.
Oh my God.
And like other people started to walk in, and I was like tweaking basically. Are you good? And I was like, I don't, something's wrong. They were like, what's going on? I was like, I think
my heart's vibrating.
I've never felt over caffeinated, and I think that's what's going on right now.
Oh man. So I was experimenting last year with vitamin stacks. Mm-hmm. And I was taking Thorne's. They have an athletic stack that they do, and Thorne's a company that they do all like third-party independent testing of all their stuff. So they're like, it's like certified by like athletic commissions of all kinds of stuff. So I was like, well, let me try that. And they put something. I did it for 2 months, and there was something in there, some sort of stimulant or something that they put inside that stack that even absent coffee made me feel like all jittery and weird. So couldn't do it, so I downgraded to they had a 2 a day. We just took 1 pill in the morning, 1 pill at night, and I felt like it was doing nothing for me. Prior to that, I had been on the GNC stack, the athletic men's stack, and I thought that made a difference, but like I wasn't taking a multivitamin of any significance prior to that, so I was like, oh, it's just placebo, right? I'll try this other stuff. Yeah. And then fast forward 6-8 months at this point, I was like, well, crap, as much as I hate to do this, they had to buy one get one free at GNC. I'm like, let me try that stack again. And 2 days after taking it, I was like, I feel great. I was like, damn it. Because it also was like twice as much as any of the other ones, right?
Right.
I was like, why is this the one? So, but I had somebody tell me about a new one today. So I'm looking at that for my next round of vitamins. So
yeah, the GNC guy on Sunday upsold me on creatine, which I didn't even know was something you could do. He's like, oh, this has like 5 different ones. Like, you don't have to take as much. The uptake's way better. And I was like, just
5 kinds
just
of
give
creatine?
it. Just fine. Just give it to me.
Creatine's creatine, isn't it?
Apparently not.
Oh no. Now I'm going to have to look. This guy just.
Oh yeah, no. He was like, the bioavailability on this is totally different. And I was like, just put it in the bag. It's fine.
He's like, shut up. That's fine. I just need my creatine.
Because like I've started taking creatine in pill form, so I can take it with my vitamins. I don't have to think about it.
Okay. Yep.
It's like much more convenient. And I was like, I was like, I want creatine in pill form. And he was like, why? And I was like, that's how I like to take it. That's what I want. Give that to me. He's like, well, we have this one, but you have to take 8 of them. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do that. Like, and he was like, well, I have this one and you have to take 4. And I was like, why? And then he gave me the whole spiel, and I was like, fine, just we'll see. And I'm not convinced that I have a whole, placebo effect creatine theory. I don't know if it does anything, but I convince myself that it does. But I'll just take 5 grams a day until I die, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah, so to be clear to anyone listening, we are not medical professionals, so don't do anything where you're going to say, because I'm about to say something that I realize, like, wow, that might get me in a lot of trouble if someone does that. It turns out negatively. So I was talking to a very high-performing athletic individual, and they told me that their dietitians had told them that if they have a particularly bad night of sleep, this is the only time that they're doing this, hear me, listeners, is they have a very particularly bad night of sleep. So as soon as they wake up, take 10 milligrams or 10 grams. What's the measurement? Grams, right?
Grams.
Yeah, 10 grams of creatine. And you can do that up to 20, but to start at 10 if you have a bad night of sleep, and it basically like eliminates the effects of the poor sleep. And it's the first I've ever heard of this, so I'm going to do some research on it and see if that's actually like, if there's any like studies that support that. I believe them because of their performance record and what they do. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. And they also told me about a few other things. Like, have you heard of BPC 157? It's a peptide.
Some Chinese peptide.
It's a peptide, yeah, that apparently is like adjacent to the stem cells or whatever.
Yeah. If you're not, I don't know, if you're not on a Chinese peptide these days, what are you doing?
Right.
That's the real question. I don't know. Twitter, like if you click the algorithm there,
Twitter or Blue Sky.
I'm still on Twitter.
You're the Twits dog.
It's where the people that I follow still are, and
it's where the people are.
I don't know, the new app is a whole problem for me. Regardless, it's a terrible place. And the algorithm has gotten steadily worse in the past like 2 years or whatever, under new ownership. Now, if you click like one thing, it's all you see for like a day. And it's like, that's not how this used to work, right?
Yeah.
It used to like, it would sprinkle a little bit of it in. But if I click on like one like fitness related thing, it's just like, that's all I'll see for the entire day. And there are people that take like 20 milligrams of creatine a day. And I'm like, that has to be bad for you.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it's like either A, you're not absorbing it, or B, that's probably actively harmful. But again,
or
not
C,
a doctor.
you're wildly dehydrated from that.
Right. Yeah. How much water? Yeah.
Hydrating your muscles. Again, not doctors. Don't do that.
So, but yeah, the people like all the stacks, and it's like, I've got the answer. And then I got started reading a bunch of stuff about how creatine helps your brain. And it's like, you know what? Fine. I'm sure this is all.
Yeah, I think that's been the interesting thing, because the reality is like creatine, I think from any supplement has the most scientific research on it of any other supplement, sort of like protein or something like that, and on the market. Because I mean, people have been taking it since like the freaking 80s or something like that. And that's the one that's been the most interesting to me, is the correlations that they're seeing between that and fending off cognitive decline. I saw another one, definitely not a doctor, don't listen to this, of straight nicotine. So not non-smoked, non-inhaled nicotine. So like taking like nicotine drops or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was pre or post the advent of Zen, because I've heard various things about Zen, not from the same studies, but they were talking about the intake of just straight nicotine, like 3 to 5 milligrams of nicotine, like microdosing basically throughout the day. But I seem to remember that study specifically was targeting like former smokers. As opposed to like the average Joe. Basically what I've seen is the only negatives, like, well, it's addictive, right? And I'm like, so there's withdrawal effects from caffeine as well. If if you're taking enough of it, you're going to have withdrawal effects from caffeine. So it's interesting, but it has to do with mental clarity and cognitive function long term. That they're seeing some correlations between, which I just think it's just interesting looking at that kind of stuff and seeing what else is out there, because I mean, keeping your brain sharp is important, at least for longevity at this point. So,
yeah, we're in the golden age of data, but also the golden age of pseudoscience. So,
exactly. That's what I was going to say. How are they actually getting the data? That's the question. What is your means of gathering? If your data set is 10 people and you're saying 100% of results, then fuck off. It's pure lies.
Yeah, I don't know who to trust anymore. Problem. So I just, I tend just to believe nothing.
Well, pretty soon you can believe your AI overlord. It'll be fine.
It's true. Yeah.
Definitely not a problem.
Not a problem at all.
All right.
Totally fine.
John, we've been going for a while. I appreciate you. I have 2 questions for you that I want to touch on.
It's been an hour and a half.
It has been about an hour and a half, but it won't be after I edit. But it's been about an hour and a half. I have 2 questions though that I need to touch on.
Okay.
For the children.
For the children.
I'm going to make it 3, but because 3 is a great number. You guys got to do things in 3s. 1, iced, pre-prepared iced coffee in a container.
Like cold brew?
Yep. Purchased from a grocery store.
Under no circumstances.
Why?
because it all tastes the same. It lacks acidity, and acidity is the best thing about coffee. And whenever I tell people this, they act like I'm insane. I'm like, cold brew is terrible, and they're like, but it's so smooth. And I'm like, that's not the point of drinking coffee. I have like a crusade against cold brew. It makes me feel insane because everyone around me, but these people don't care about coffee in any real way. They love their cold brew, and it all tastes the same, and it's all bad. And they're like, "Oh, it's on nitro." And I'm like,
so
even worse. It tastes like nothing. Yeah,
carbon.
Yeah. Just put put bubbles on top of it. I don't understand. I understand it because it is easy to take it and put it in a glass with a bunch of milk in it.
But you're drinking cold brew right now, John.
No, I'm not drinking iced pour over. It's very different. Because cold water pulls different things out of coffee than hot water.
True. So, and over extraction as you just let it sit there for days. As it just soaks in its own filth.
But James Hoffman did make a cold brew video recently.
Did he?
He's on the same tip of like, this stuff is not good. Make an ice pour if you want. But he has a recipe for cold brew if you want to make cold brew that I've not done yet because I have no use for it. I used to make it just to chug before I went to the gym, and then I realized that it was just like
why am I making myself suffer?
Yeah, why am I doing this to myself? Yeah, it's like I could pull a shot of espresso if I just plan for like 10 minutes before I leave, warm up my machine. So I hate cold brew. I'm anti cold brew. This is one of the things that I preach a lot. People around me, my coworker, like there's a cold brew like tap at work.
Gross. My
coworkers love it, and every time they have it, I make sure that they know that it's actually gross, even if they like it. And
so it's basically Beelzebub's taint juice. That's what I'm hearing.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Excellent. Okay, so secret layers. You hate the foiled Pokemons. It's ridiculous. People weigh cards, packs for them. Secret layer.
Secret layers. I think that secret layers are the right way for Magic cards to be expensive, and they used to be print to order, which was a good thing.
Yep.
Everyone could order them, and that's fine. And now they're not print to order because people got mad that it took too long to get them, I think is the working theory. And now they're like, first come, first serve. And so the like FOMO aspect of it has gotten really, really bad. And like, I don't care about these. I don't buy these things. I don't buy Magic cards really. So like, I thought the secret layers were a fun way to like get cool arts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's like the scalping has gotten so bad that it's just like, it just creates all these like horrible feel bad moments.
Yep.
For like what is ostensibly like a fun little treat. Right.
Yeah.
And whenever it was print to order, I think it was good. And now it's just like, I don't know. It's just everything gets scalped now.
I so the only ones I have are the metal one they did with all.
I have that one.
Yeah, we both have those.
I have those. I bought like one of the one thing that I bought like as a speculation was like this Commander set of Galaxy foiled things. It was like Commander centric cards, which I don't have any use for, but I put them in the one Commander deck that I keep in case someone wants to play Commander. And then eventually sold them for like way, way, way more than I bought them for to build a different constructed deck for something else. So that was my one flip, but it wasn't even a flip because it was like 2 years later. I was like, these have just been sitting in this box ever since I got them. I should probably trade them in for something better.
The time is now.
Yeah.
Not one of my questions, but you saying that you built a deck out of it made me think, do you have a cube?
I do not, but my neighbor has a cube. He has like a proxied vintage cube. So like whole Power 9 and everything. And he literally lives right around the corner, which is really nice. So we were supposed to play on Sunday and then a bunch of people fell through, but it's been really nice, like being able to draft a paper cube again. Because in college, we again printed one out and made it. And that, passed a lot of time doing that. So him but he has like nice proxies. Like they're actually printed on like cardstock and everything. They like feel real. I think vintage cube draft is like far and away the most fun way to play Magic. Like no close second in my mind.
I love that. All right, final question. Well, it's a 2-part question.
Okay.
Coffee or espresso on a desert island?
Desert island? Gotta be coffee.
Okay.
It's just I don't know. There's something about a cup of coffee that is like not replicable by like adding hot water to espresso. Like an Americano and a pour over taste nothing alike.
Not even close.
And you can do more with an espresso, I guess, but I don't like to do anything with my coffee. I like to drink a nice, pure, clean cup of fresh, hot Java.
The way our Lord and Savior James Hoffman
exactly. And like I don't doctor up my coffee, and whenever you take really good coffee and doctor it up, it tastes worse. So it's like.
But what about the thing with like adding salt to coffee?
See, you add salt to cold brew because it tastes bad. I don't know. Adding salt to coffee, I don't know. Again, I think adding salt to almost anything probably makes it taste better, but I'm stubborn about coffee and I will never do it. I used to put like a pinch of salt in my cold brew because it legitimately improves the flavor, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
there's some science there too.
I've moved on from that. Yeah. It's just like salinity is good, right? In all things.
Yeah.
Like I put, we salt all of our desserts. We salt all of our, everything.
What is it? Salt, acid, fat. That's the rule in cooking.
Yep.
Right. And last one, follow-on question to that.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee or espresso on a dessert island?
A dessert island? That's espresso.
Yep.
Yeah. An espresso after dinner, they're always bad because they're always just some like crazy dark Italian style espresso beans.
Yep.
They always taste awful, but I'll get one every single time because I don't know. Like you eat a super sweet dessert and then you get a crazy bitter espresso because again, the espresso is never good, but something about that balances it out. But the rare occasion where you end up with a really nice espresso after dinner, transcendental.
Is it transcendental though because it's actually transcendental itself, or is it transcendental because your expectations are so damn low because you've been burned so many times by crappy espressos?
It's the second one. Because I order the espresso and my wife looks at me and she says, "You're going to hate it." And I go,
Yep.
"I know." And if I take a sip and it's good, it's life-changing.
It's like jackpot.
Yeah.
I'm so anal retentive there. So there are 4 independent coffee brewers within my area where I live, and all within walking distance of each other. Every single one I go to for a different thing. I'm like, do I want an espresso based drink? I'm going to go to this one. Do I want an actual cup of coffee? I'm going to go to this one. Do I want some like sweetie pinkies up type of something or another? That's like seasonally appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to that one. Do I want a decaf espresso or something weird after dinner? I'm going to this one. And that's literally the only thing I go to that one for, because it's the only place I can get decaf espresso.
Yeah. There's like a hoity-toity, like, I don't know, Instagram style coffee shop near my house, and a bunch of guys that I play Magic with one Saturday, they were like, "Oh, I'll meet you down there." I don't want to disparage this place, so I won't say where it is. I'll meet you down there before. And I was like, why would I go there? And they're like, "Oh, the coffee there is incredible." And I was like, "No, that place is an Instagram filter. It is not a coffee shop. The drinks are very pretty, and I'm sure you probably like them, but it's not because of the coffee that's in them."
Well,
and then he came in. I was like, "What are you drinking?" He was like, "Oh, it's like a brown sugar lavender latte." And I was like, "Why is all that stuff in there?" He's like, "Because it tastes good." I was like, "Tastes like coffee?" And he's like, "Not really."
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for diving deep into the old magicals and chatting about everything. I appreciate you. You got anywhere that the peoples of the good interwebulins can find you?
You can catch me in the draft queues on Magic the Gathering Arena. My username is HedonismBot. So if you play against me, you can't talk to me because there's no way to talk to people in the games, but I don't know. That's where I'll be.
Sick. You can get crushed by a Magic legend yourself.
There you go.
Old HedonismBot. Coming for you. All right, buddy. Thanks for hanging out, man. We'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. We could have probably gone for another 2 hours. So
yeah, I know. That's why I was looking at the timer. I was like, we probably got to.
Whenever you want to talk, let me know.
All right, man.
Always gotta have a hook.
That's right. It does. God, I feel like I always have a burp too that I have to like edit out.
I'm such a bad like long talk burper.
Oh man, that's so good when you just rip a big old burp. Maybe that'll be the outro.